Well, hello there, everyone. I know you can't see my head right now, but as far as I know, yes, that's right. It's still attached to my body. Okay, so. Are we ready? And action. I'm your captain. I'm your captain. Today's episode is from Act 1, as you notice right down there. That's the web page for Act 1. Today's being down here at the bottom, Scene 4, also known as Chapter 4. And the title of this episode, or this chapter, is Standoff at the OK Moat. How strange is that? There's a documentary narrated by Lauren Green that's playing back there, Sam. Lauren Green. Appointment with Destiny. Showdown at the OK Corral. The chapter really has very little, if anything, to do with the shootout at the OK Corral. It really has to do with something else, which you probably already know because you've read it. And if you haven't and you are worried that there's going to be a spoiler alert, or there's going to be a spoiler during this episode, then you might want to wait till later to view this episode. So, as always, I'm going to be reading from the curated excerpts from the what we call the Harrison Chronicles, although this part I refer to them as Captain's Log, because I took over from Harrison in writing in his chronicles. Here's one here for the particular year 2020, and so I started calling them Captain's Log. In this particular instance, it's Captain's Log 20-0004. This was written at the Hermitage on a Thursday. Let me just proceed with that, and then we can talk some more about Lauren Green and some other stuff. There. Okay. Chapter 4. I took another morning constitutional today. This had to have made 6 or 7 days in a row by this time. I lost count. This is what people are supposed to do when they are getting on in years. Not like I needed the exercise so much, seeing as how just getting from one day to the next in these times of ours, here in the future, was pretty physically demanding. That's what you have to look forward to in the future. You're going to have to do more work, physical work. But a routine is just what the doctor ordered, if I had one, that is. Hadn't seen a real doctor in so long, I wasn't sure I ever did. Not sure what one would look like, to be honest with you. Okay, healthcare in the future. What's it going to consist of? What does it consist of now? It's a little bit dicey, I would say, but by now I mean your time right here. I've been brought to the December. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. December of 2020. You get the idea. You'll see on the thing what date it is today. Anyway. Not sure what one would look like, to be honest with you. Speaking of doctors. White coat and stethoscope, I suppose. Not like one of the ladies in the village that would tend to folks' aches and pains, bandage up their wounds, or give out some herbs or some other types of potions and medicines, or other such things they kept in their cupboards or satchels. Better to keep your body and mind in tune to ward off the bad things that happen as your body and mind start to get too advanced. I guess that is why I get so much lost in thought as I amble my way around the village on these morning walks of mine. I have a little bit of chest congestion, as you probably could tell. Like I said, I came down here from the future, and I took a test, and I was told that I had something called the COVID virus, which I think I read about somewhere in the manuals. You did have this thing. It was one of a series of viruses that were unleashed by the humans onto the rest of the planet by poaching wildlife from the wilds. Eventually, people began to realize that you shouldn't do that. It's not a good idea. But it took them a while. They were mainly focused on trying to figure out, what do I do? I've been infected by myself. My own actions. Mine meaning the human race. And we were so busy trying to figure out how to get around it. It took us a while to figure out, well, maybe we should head for the root cause of what is causing these things to happen, to impact our health. And so that we will stop doing that. It's a lesson to be learned. According to Harrison in his chronicles, it was a lesson, hard lesson to learn eventually. But this is part of the war that the humans declared on Mother Nature, and it was a war we were destined to lose until we finally made peace and decided to do things differently. But anyway, I digress as usual. Okay. I guess that is why I get so much lost in thought as I amble my way around the village on these morning walks of mine. Either that, or it's early onset of getting a little more demented than I would like to be at this stage in life, especially considering my responsibilities around this place. I became a leader of the village, and you'll find out more about that in future episodes. Anyway, I was so lost in thought I had a feeling of actually being lost for a second. I guess I was staring at the ground for so long, I forgot where I was going and where I was. I looked up when one of the villagers let out a single word, "Morning!" to greet me. He was coming out of his place. He has a name, I know, but forgive me, I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. Not like we are not a close-knit community. Have to be in these times. Probably just early onset, I guess. Oh yeah, Little Freddy. That's his name. I call him Little Freddy even though he is not exactly little anymore. We go way back to when we were still youngsters, back in the olden days. He is as old as I am now, give or take a few years, but he is still Little Freddy to me. He is one of Old Man Peabody's boys. He was around during the olden days, back in the 20s. Speaking of which, or whom I guess is correct English, I came upon Larry as well, my old pal and another of Old Man Peabody's clan. Not sure if he was his boy or his nephew exactly, not that that matters much. Larry looked at me expectantly for a moment, or so I thought. I didn't feel like talking for some reason, so I just gave him a quick nod of the head, and he nodded back, before going back to whatever it was he was doing. I guess I should have stopped and chatted for a while, but he can be a real talker sometimes, and I was not in the mood. This may be a bad sign as I really am getting to be more and more drawn into myself. I guess I am trying to live up to the image of the hermitage, where I increasingly spend more and more of my time holed up, away from the villagers and other people out in the real world. But this morning, for some reason, I wanted to be left alone with my thoughts. Increasingly, they turned into more like ruminations. This is another sign of getting on in years, most likely. Come to think of it, seeing Larry must have triggered more memories of days gone by, diverting them away from the place those thoughts had otherwise been headed, sending them back down the old rumination highway I seemed to be on. The on-ramp took me right to the memory of that incident I like to call the day of the standoff at the OK Moat. That's your introduction to Chapter 4. In the episodes to follow, I'm going to read the rest of my journal entry for that period of time, and also there will be references to many different things, and you will see those on the website, including the standoff at the OK Corral, what it means as you get old and demented, and other facts and information that is hopefully you will find interesting. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to the next episode of a reading from 2020, the book. Where is it? It's down here. It's over here. Okay, there it is. 2020thebook.com. You can log in there, or you can go to the YouTube channel that is named after the author of 2020, B. Sean Clark, that guy. And go to that YouTube channel and see more. Yeah, this is, I don't know if that's live footage. Can't be. Or maybe it is. No. Probably a movie version. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch the rest of it and